I think about a lot is Tide Pods.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it. We're talking about Vox. Hey guys, my name is Swamp, and I was recently watching some Vox videos, as I do from time to time, seeing as I am an intellectual. And I thought today maybe we could go over and try to break down what exactly Vox's opinion is on internet censorship. Let's take a look and see if anyone's shocked.
Someone just made a joke one day that Tide Pods look delicious. And so people started, just making posts about this on social media. And it was just transparently hilarious. But the platform's incentives are such that if you actually did eat a Tide Pod, you'd get 1 million views.
Holy crap.
And what had
He's underselling that. That's almost 4 million. I'm going to eat a Tide Pod.
All of a sudden was a public health hazard.
You're not addressing the elephant in the room here, pal. The public crisis was the public education system, okay? Let's just get that straight right out the gate.
Platforms, for I think very understandable reasons, have a terrible time figuring out when the joke stops being funny.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain these understandable reasons to me. It's not as obvious to the layman over here. I'm not a journalist. Oh man, you guys feel that? The music changed. It's about to get serious.
Twitter, for the very first time, has fact-checked President Trump
on voter misinformation.
That's the line Facebook, Twitter, and others seem to have drawn.
Trump continues to falsely insist that the election was stolen.
Twitter has put up a flag more than 100 times since Election Day.
Trump urging his followers, be there will be wild.
God, I really hate when they do this kind of crap. Anybody can edit things together and put some scary music on it. And hey, let me just show you.
What it really means is that if you are radical, it means that you get to the root of problems, which is why I've never been offended and I embrace that term.
We are 1 block away from the White House.
Because that's what it's gonna take. This is not all just, roses and sunshine and fairy tales. This is a fight.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
I may have gotten a little carried away on that one. But you get my point.
I think we're in a period of rethinking what misinformation is.
Well, if that isn't the understatement of the year. Because I used to think misinformation meant like it wasn't true. But that is no longer the case.
I think the past few years, we had the thought that misinformation was individual bad posts and maybe some individual actors that needed to be disciplined. But if we could just prune that garden, the rest of our information ecosystem would be okay.
And that must be their rethinking of it. See, because I thought misinformation, like I said, would be something that isn't true. But he's just saying it's stuff he just doesn't like. Wow, okay. To think this all started because of Tide Pods.
Alex Jones is sort of the classic example.
Apple, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube have now removed content associated with Jones and InfoWars.
He does not have nearly the influence over American life today, but that kind of whack-a-mole approach is just not giving us the information ecosystem that we want.
I'm actually being dead serious here. If the way this guy is talking isn't just scaring the shit out of you, man, I don't know what to tell you. My God. Okay, but since he was talking about Alex Jones, let me go check my times Alex Jones was proven right jars. See how it's coming along.
This idea that the election has been stolen, which we know to be false.
Oh, well, that settles it. No need to elaborate further.
Is being repeated ad nauseum all across the internet, in private chats, in private messages, as well as in public. This is becoming the big lie It's larger than any one user. It's larger than 1,000 users. It's going to require a much more serious and difficult approach than simply removing one account, no matter how prominent that account might be.
I'm still reeling from the fact that Tide Pods are going to be what send us over the edge of censorship. I mean, it's... George Orwell did not see that one coming.
147 members of Congress voted to overturn the results of election after the Capitol had been attacked. Are these platforms ready to deplatform 147 sitting members of Congress?
Good God, man. What is wrong with this guy? I mean,
He
jeez.
incited an attack on his own government. That is not a close call. The hard call is you're about to have maybe 70 million Americans, or some huge percentage of that, talking, including...
I can see
online
how
spaces
people talking could be a
about
problem
an
for you,
election
yeah.
being stolen that was not stolen.
All right, he said it twice, guys. He said it twice. He must be right. But did you notice one of the little things they threw in there that they're suddenly just really, really upset about is this whole not my president thing. Suddenly that's like the worst thing you could do. As if there wasn't an entire not my president day put together when Trump was in office. No, geez, that would just be downright questioning an election. And there certainly wouldn't be several of them across the country, and even one in London for some stupid reason. I don't know. And it certainly wouldn't have been orchestrated through Facebook, because that would be misinformation. It's not like, they wrote it on their heads. Oh, God, that's greasy. Went out with signs. It's not like they sold merch. Or like there was even other presidents that they said not my president about. But I guess to be fair, I have to think about it in the framework of their rethinking of the word misinformation. They liked that, so it's not misinformation. It's really simple, actually, when you break it down. And if you're thinking to yourself, Swamp, I've got a pretty good idea on where they stand on internet censorship. Let me show you this, because, see, now this video was made January 21st, 2021. But on August 29th, 2020, they made this video.
But whatever the motivation, the US targeting a globally popular app is a big deal because it throws a wrench into one of the biggest debates over what the internet should be.
They made a video being upset that Trump wanted to ban TikTok. And is anybody shocked that they like TikTok? But in this video, they seem to be pro free speech on the internet. I guess this was before they did their rethinking on what misinformation was. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
A New America Foundation report plots that debate along a spectrum of how open the internet is within a country.
So on the one pole, we can visualize the free and open model. So that's the democratic model. Very little state involvement in internet content.
As the original home of the internet and many of the world's biggest tech companies, the US has traditionally advocated for the free flow of information online.
Again, that was until Vox changed their mind.
In 2019, Russia moved to build an internet that is isolated from the rest of the world, following years of increasing government censorship. Turkey has been blocking some news websites and recently passed a law giving the government sweeping powers over social media. And India, the world's largest democracy, leads the world in deliberate internet shutdowns.
Turning off the internet is becoming a defining tool of government repression.
Internet access shut down by the government.
In Sudan, Ethiopia, Algeria, Liberia, Venezuela, and Kazakhstan have...
Vox, did you forget that you made this video? You've done a pretty hard 180.
As governments decide that a World Wide Web doesn't suit their interests, we end up with a fractured internet, what some call the Splinternet.
No. You can call it that if you want. I'm just going to keep calling it the internet.
When authoritarian states assert control over online speech, should the US respond by doing the same thing?
Gotta say, Vox, this was a much better take. But I guess all authoritarians hate other authoritarians because they want to be the authoritarian state. I don't know, Vox. It's just food for thought. I'm just some cartoon on the internet. Who cares?